Oh, yeah, okay, all right. Hey, thanks everybody for returning to another exciting episode of On the Block. Looks like we just lost McCrae, but he'll be back soon. We've got season 16's very own Christine with us. What's up, Christine? Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thank you. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're excited to have you. I'm glad it worked out. I appreciate you making time for us. So,
Heck yeah.
but yeah, McCrae, are you back?
Oh,
We can't hear you.
can't hear you.
Can I hear you? All right, all right. We'll keep doing it. I know that sign language. I know that sign language. All right, Christine, we're waiting on McCrae to get fully involved here.
Yes.
How about you kind of start at the beginning and tell everybody how you became aware of Big Brother, became a fan of it, and just take us all the way through your casting process and get you in the house.
All right. Well, I started watching it when I was 9 years old. Survivor came out, and me and my mom became hooked on reality TV. So Big Brother started, and literally, I was like 10 years old in 5th grade, and people would ask what your favorite show was, and it was always Big Brother until now. And so finally, when I was 21, I had just gotten married, so I didn't apply. And then when I was 22, I was in a musical, so I didn't apply.
Okay.
And then this year, I was like, I'm going to do my dream. I'm going to try out for it. So I sent in a video, and apparently they liked it. It's pretty funny if I do say so myself.
Okay.
And,
What's funny about it? What's funny about it? What'd you do?
Dang it. At the end of it, I went up to the camera and I showed him my little baby in a shark outfit. And I said, hey, want to know why I have a baby in a shark outfit? And then I said, call me, and I winked, and then my number flashed across the screen. And
Nice.
and then they asked me later, and it doesn't really mean anything. So.
Okay. Yeah. Draw them in, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, McCrae, if you're still here, you're frozen and we can't hear you or see you on camera.
See you.
That's really good. That's really good. You give them a little taste. Make them come
Yeah.
back.
Wanted them to want to know about me.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, okay. Well, now that you're into the casting process, tell us kind of how that went for you. And like I said, build us all the way up. Get us into the house with you, please.
Okay, yeah. I got a call, did another interview, and I heard that when they saw my picture, they weren't interested. They were like, boring. And then they saw my video, and they were like, yes. And so, went through a ton of interviews, had so much fun with all of them, so much fun meeting people, and meeting Allison Gronder was like a dream come true. I was like, this is awesome. And so finally, I got the call, and they're like, hey, we're going to come film you. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then I got in the house.
Hell yeah. I know that there's rules of secrecy, but I broke them. I'm sure you did too. Who'd you tell? And did you, this is not talking about production. At this point, that does not matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Were they supportive of you? Were they excited about it? What kind of conversations y'all have about going in? Anything like that?
Yeah. And my manager at Starbucks. And so my manager at Starbucks was so excited. From the beginning, everyone was like, you're going to get on, don't worry about it. And my dad was a little nervous because he knows that I get a little mouthy sometimes. And then Tim just, didn't want me to leave for 3 months. But other than that, they were excited.
Excellent, excellent. All right, well, good. Yeah, it's good to have your family behind you. I mean, This is the kind of experience that it takes all hands on deck for somebody to actually go away for that long and do something at this caliber. I mean, this is it's big time. And nobody knows exactly what they're getting into once they take that call. So.
No idea.
No idea. Okay, well, let's say, all right, you're already in the house. Let's talk about your strategy going in. What was your strategy? I'm sure you talked about strategy in your auditions. You had a plan in your head going in as a super fan. What were you trying to accomplish? I guess day one as far as strategy building.
I went in there thinking usually the house splits into two. So I'm going to pick a side, and I'm going to pick one person from the other side, and hopefully we can make a final two deal and keep each other off the block whenever the power shifts. And so that's what I went in thinking, and it kind of unintentionally happened, me and Nicole got along really well because we kind of felt like outsiders, and it's extremely overwhelming. Oh my gosh, when you get in there, so overwhelming. And so we made a final two deal, and then the house ended up separating, like Bomb Squad and then everyone else.
Sure.
And so I didn't take advantage of it like I wish I would have, like I was going to going in.
Advantage of what? Your strategy, or you take advantage of what?
Of my strategy. I wish me and Nicole would have been a little more secretive, but it was hard because we really were best friends. I loved hanging out with her, but I wish we were a little more secretive, and I wish we both would have been heavily on other sides to keep each other from out of the target.
Okay. All right. Well, let's since you talk about Nicole. There was kind of a Nicotine alliance, is what it was called. That people really liked it when you and Nicole were getting together. You lied to her. I know with the different alliances and stuff. I mean, that's part of Big Brother. You have to lie to her and that kind of thing. But you said you wanted to have somebody on the other side of the house, which she was. You wanted to be on this side, which you were, and you wanted to keep each other safe, which you didn't. So let's talk about that. Where Nicole originally fit into your strategy, and when did the shift come that you were all in with the Bomb Squad? I'm trying to come back to your invitation to the Bomb Squad in a minute, but right now, as we're focused on Nicole, where did your strategy shift, and why?
As soon as I found out that she was telling Cody and Derek everything I was saying, that's when I knew I couldn't trust her anymore. And so that's when I was really like, okay, well, now I know I can't ever trust you again. Which, I mean, she was playing the game. I wasn't mad. I was just like, dang it.
Sure.
And so, I mean, she was telling Cody, she got me in trouble with Cody and Derek big time, I mean, for the rest of the game. So at that point, I wasn't going to trust Nicole anymore. But she had your back the whole time, but she didn't.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
okay.
you said at that point. Where along the lines was that she started talking to Derek and Cody and lost trust you? Was that fairly early on? It would seem like it must have been.
It was the week of right before the double eviction of Jocasta and Hayden.
Okay.
So
okay.
Before then, I really did want to work with Nicole and Hayden, and then that week they got really weird.
So that week, let's think about what happened that week. Rewind a little bit. Derek and Nicole formed kind of like a feedster alliance. I don't know if you knew about that when they were co-HOHs. And then the rationale formed basically around the time that you're talking about. So Nicole talking to Derek and Cody was basically her sharing information with her new alliance. Is that right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, good deal. No, and let's go back, rewind just a hair to the division of the house originally, which is Devin and Caleb and the formation of the Bomb Squad and your inclusion into that. So just kind of talk to us about when you go into the Beehive room and how that impacted the rest of your game.
We go in the Beehive room and Devin is just smooth talking. He's trying to intimidate me and Amber into this alliance. And I already knew there was an all-guys alliance because Frankie in the HOH room was like, I mean, I don't want to put up two girls because I don't want them to think there's an all-guys alliance. And at that point, I was like, oh, okay, so there's an all-guys alliance, or else you want to be paranoid about it. And so...
McCrae is familiar with that.
I know, right? And so then, Devin's talking to us, and I was like, I mean, I can't say no to Devin. I'm not going to be like, no, I don't want to be in this alliance. So I went with it, and I was going to see how far it could carry me. And I sincerely didn't want Nicole to know for honest reasons. Like, I just didn't want to tell her at the time. It was weird, and I wasn't serious about it at that time, so it didn't really matter to me. So.
Okay. In hindsight, do you regret not telling Nicole at all?
Yeah, I do. I wish I would have told her sooner. I think our trust wouldn't have been so shaky.
Okay. So when you get involved in the Bomb Squad, now obviously as the Bomb Squad breaks down, it becomes the Detonators because of the Caleb Amber and then the Devin issue, which is separate and above the Caleb Amber stuff. But when the Detonators formed, okay, when you knew that these group of people were already willing to slough off what they consider basically the dead weight or the unusable. Where did that get your game? Did you at that point think you might need to develop parachutes, or did you feel like the detonators was then ride or die?
Yeah, no, I really, at that I thought, I was like, well, I think the detonators are my only option at this point. And, you know, it's week by week, and so every week I would try and get closer with Frankie and Zach, or, you know, Cody and Derek kind of separately, because I knew at some point they would turn on each other, even though it turned out Frankie turned on Zach kind of. And so at that point I thought that the detonators could get me far because they were all really good players. And so I was like, if I can keep trusting them and they can keep trusting me, I think I could go farther.
Absolutely. How did you see the detonators fracturing? Where would you have fit in an honest to God detonators fracture?
Sorry, you cut out on the last part.
Where did you see yourself fitting in if the detonators had fractured as a 5-person alliance? If it had for you were either maybe somewhat aware about or not exactly a named alliance, and then you would have had you'd have the other side. Where would you have fit between Zanky and Hitman? Where would you have gone?
Hitman, probably. They were really good at brainwashing me. Derek was phenomenal, and so I would have gone, and especially after Hayden and Nicole threw mine and Frankie's name out together, I was done. Frankie kept bringing it up, and I felt like he was trying to dirty my name more than his, and so it was really frustrating to me, and so at that point I was done with Frankie.
Okay. No, that's okay. Okay, I understand. The thing about the detonators that was kind of funny is that none of y'all really appeared to really like each other wholly or trust each other. So like every week there's a possibility of a split, but it really stayed together, which is phenomenal in this game in a way, because there's so many splinters of distrust that get wedged in your mind, and you just don't know.
It almost seemed like mutually assured destruction, where like everyone, like if it splits at once, like everyone's going down with the ship, like so we have to just like even though we hate each other, like we just have to keep it together, like let's not nuke each other yet, you know, the world will end.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. No.
That's the thing.
Because the moment the detonators were made, Zanky got together and they were already talking. Frankie already wanted Cody out, and Cody and Derek already wanted Frankie out. So it was a mess to begin with.
Sure. As far as the house dividing, we had the bomb squad on one side, which left Donnie Jacosta, Nicole Hayden, basically, you know, after the pre-jury stuff and how that fell out. So, with the house split like that, was there ever, with the information you had, was there ever a time where you thought these numbers are going to dwindle? My help is going to leave the house, and all I'm going to be left with is the other 4 members of the detonators. Was there ever a time where you laying any groundwork for maybe a deconstruction of the detonators, or were you going to try to get the final fight it out?
I think I was just going to try and make it to the final 5 and then fight it out. I had enough faith in myself, regrettably, that maybe I could win a good amount of competitions that I needed to, or create the bonds that I needed to. Of course, you don't know what's happening in this stupid house, but yeah. I didn't really ever think of an idea to destroy the detonators. Okay. So like it was in your mind, detonators to the end. Okay. Yeah. Since we're talking about detonators, let's talk about you at least got credit for this hashtag, Bominators. I don't know, you probably have not seen the episode, but they give you credit for that. I remember saying that.
Where did Caleb fit? I mean, Caleb was obviously on the outs of the detonators. He was a loyal member of the bomb squad the entire time. But in all reality, even though he was kind of on the outs of the bomb squad, he was greatly influential within the detonators, becoming the Bominators. So, where in your mind was Caleb in this? Was he just kind of on the outs? Was he in? Did you trust him, or what was your idea when? What were you thinking about Caleb's place in the house?
Well, you know, at first I was thinking, oh, Caleb's on the outs of the detonators. You know, he's going to try and shove his way in, but it's not going to work. And then I realized, oh, wait, of course he's going to get in with the detonators. I'm a girl, always on the outs. And so that's when I was like, gosh dang it, over. And so Caleb was kind of on the outs a good amount of the time, but also he kind of, because everyone was like, oh, Caleb, you know, and so they all wanted him because he was so trustworthy and loyal, and they thought that they could manipulate him easy enough. He was a good person to have on your side.
Sure, and he was. I mean, he was easy to manipulate. He would do anything, you convince him of anything, and he would run head-on into a wall, full steam ahead, beast mode cowboy. Absolutely. No, I mean, he's... okay, so because I've wanted to know where Caleb fit in your mind, because you knew he was on the outs, but he kept being brought into the fold and shared information with and that kind of stuff. So I just kind of wanted to know where Caleb fit. Let's see. All right. As far as okay, at Grandtagious or something like that. I'm sorry that you have a complicated Twitter handle I can't pronounce. What's no? Okay. The rationale the Hitman blamed you and Frankie for a lot of stuff in the house. Okay. Would you like to go? Were you aware you're becoming the whipping boy, so to speak? The fall guy for these lies, and just kind of tell us about that.
It was because as soon as Hayden stood up and started saying our names, I was like, oh my gosh, I am in so much trouble. And I was like, I let these guys fool me, and I was like, poop! Like, my name is going out there even though I didn't do anything. And the stupid thing is I thought that Cody and Derek had my back, so I didn't throw them under the bus like I should have. And so
okay.
I kind of just let Frankie and I take it and hope that we could smooth it over. But yeah, when Hayden said that, I realized that Cody and Derek screwed us over. And why I didn't do anything about that, I don't know, but I didn't. They're very good manipulators.
We've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those things where, like, I always wondered, everybody fears this in the house, that we're going to vote that person out and they're going to blow our whole game up. But nobody does. Yeah. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Nobody really ever does. And, people can stop playing with that fear and just, but I'm telling you, like, I didn't get a chance to vote that many times when I played, but at the same time, that is the constant fear of games being blown up.
It is.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's get into this is another while we're talking about fan questions. At Kelbot tweets, I can read that one. It sounds kind of cool. What was your ideal scenario for getting to Final 5, Final 4, Final 3, and getting to the Final 2 chair? What was in the house? What was your plan as things were evolving to get in each of those positions?
Saying to stay on. I see. Near the end, Frankie was getting on my nerves, and I was really trying to stay with him game-wise, but I couldn't do it anymore. I was just irritated with everybody, and so I kind of screwed myself up to not being that nice to people, which I regret. I'm sorry, but so I wanted to stick with Frankie and then Cody and Derek, and hope that neither of them would want to get me out, and that I wouldn't be that big of a threat. But I didn't know how much Derek really wanted me out that whole time.
Okay. I want to touch on something that you hit on about being mean. I watched the feeds like your goodbye messages. You're sassy in those. I was not sure exactly.
That was the one time where we really questioned you. Like, what is she doing with these goodbye messages? Everything else you say in the house is fair game. Like, me and Spencer talked the most shit out of, we were talking crap about everyone. We were mean. But the goodbye messages is the one thing that I was like, I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah.
You guys know more than anybody. Sometimes you hear things. I don't know how to describe it, so I'm giving too much away. And you're supposed to say certain things. And at that point, I knew I was the villain. And so early on, I figured out that I was a villain. And so I was like, well, might as well have fun with this. I'm on TV. Zach gets to do it. Why can't I do it?
How did you determine that you were a villain?
This is also hard to point out.
It's they. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what I mean.
So,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. So basically, drawing
Contextual.
contextual clues is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Contextual
So
clues.
you really felt that way. Did you know why you were being painted as a villain? And what are your thoughts on? Go ahead.
At first, I thought it was because I was going against America's favorites, like Nicole and Donnie and Hayden. I thought that was the main thing for a while, which people still talk to me about. But then I came to realize there was other reasons as well. And so, that's why my goodbye messages. I mean, I even, me and Zach talked in the jury house. I was like, dude, I didn't mean it. I thought it would be good for TV. I did things like that. And so they weren't all like malicious at heart or anything. It was just, I just did it because I did it.
It's for good TV. You got to make entertaining TV. Like, we're there to make a TV show still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And good job for you. Good on you for having the cojones to just like, yeah. I like that. That's good.
If all my goodbye messages were like, I hope
Please,
you're con or I am.
give me your vote, please.
Oh yeah, I was stupid. Also, what's funny is I thought I wasn't getting any TV time, so I was like, maybe if I get enough goodbye messages, they'll put me on TV.
Okay. It's just yeah,
You're getting some TV time.
You were talking about.
I like it.
We're about to roll into a bunch of stuff here. But you're kind of the linchpin. I say all the time that if it had not been for, I say you and Cody's relationship in the house, that you potentially could have gathered up all the outsiders and come across, and challenge the Detonators. Cody's relationship with you was one of the most important in the house because he kept you, in my opinion, I want to hear what your take on is, loyal to the Detonators, therefore not allowing another side of the house form and do anything. So let's just talk about that.
Yeah, me and Cody had a really close relationship, and he was a part of keeping me with the Detonators, but what a lot of people don't know is Derek was the main reason. Whenever me and Derek would talk, Derek would get me to think exactly how he was thinking. We didn't have to talk half as much, and he would get me to do exactly what he wanted. So Derek honestly was the main reason that I was loyal to the Detonators. And then Cody and I's friendship was another thing that added on to it, to where I thought that maybe he'll be loyal to me and stuff. And so Derek got me good.
Hats off.
Let's talk about Cody. Let's just kind of hit it in the face, okay? Like McCrae and I know what that house is like. A lot of people, a lot of viewers don't, okay? I would like for you to just kind of take the floor and just kind of share your thoughts on how you feel like your relationship was perceived, what it was actually based on, and just kind of, I don't put words in your mouth, but I want you to talk about that because it obviously became part of the narrative of this season. And it has a lot to do with the aftermath of the season for you, especially. So go ahead and tackle that.
It was perceived very horribly. People think I'm an adulterer whore. I never kissed a guy. I never did that stuff. And I tickle my mom's head like that. I'm serious. I do. And when you're in that house, you aren't getting any physical touch. And so when you get it, it's really nice. And Cody and I were friends. It was nothing more than that. But it almost got addicting because you don't have it for so long, and then you get touched and you're like, oh, this rocks, and then we became friends, and it was all just a game as well because I knew there was a point when the Zingbot happened, but I felt like I was in too deep, that I couldn't stop because I was like, shoot, if I stop, then that's going to be awkward. What if I'm the next target, That got weird. I was just like, shoot, I could be in trouble. And of course, Derek again came to the rescue. I was like, no, don't worry about it. So then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he understood that it was whatever. But yeah, people don't understand. It is just a game. And I mean, Cody was playing me and I was playing him, and I think we both kind of understood that. We were both aware, and it was kind of just like, who's gonna get who first, essentially. And so, me and my husband are great, though, if anybody wants to know.
To me, it always kind of seemed like a thing where it's like, you know, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer almost, where it's like, yeah, like, you know, like
Darn it.
powerhouse, so it's like, I'm going to stick with him, I'm going to, like, and he'll give me attention, like, I'm just going to, like, stick with this, you know? It seemed like a way to, like, keep you into the fold a little bit, you know? That's what I perceived anyways.
And I could tell by him when I was in trouble with things. Like, it was mostly him that I could tell, like, oh my gosh, I might be going home on this double eviction.
He became a barometer.
Yeah, and before the Nicole and Hayden thing, I was like, Cody, what's up? I was like, I'm in trouble. What is it? You know, you could. He was very easy to read a lot of times.
Okay, yeah, no, I agree. I feel like Cody would have been one of the easiest to read in the house. Okay, no, so, like, this, in our assessment, we said this on our podcast, that your comforting touches to Cody were more social game than Donnie Thompson played the entire time he was there. And no, I'm not making fun of Donnie, and I'm not trying. I mean, in all honesty, that is a house where if somebody makes you feel comfortable, if in such high tensions, if there's just any kind of like stress relief, you want that person to be around. And
yeah,
like like I said, that it's a barnyard. You lay around with everybody. You just lay around. That's all there's to do is lay around. And with no showmances this season, I think that people were trying to make something out of complete nothingness. And I mean, no, I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but it certainly seemed that people would have loved nothing more than for you and Cody just to have made out in the fucking beehive room, and so everybody could have just gone crazy. You know, it was like they were just
crazy.
hoping for it. They were hoping for it, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, unfortunately, you caught a lot of flack for it. You still will. We all catch hate for stuff that maybe people don't understand. Maybe they read the headline but didn't really read the article.
Yes.
And there's all that kind of stuff. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So.
Again, I want to get on a soapbox and just like anyone that's watching that had anyone like that, like perspective, please stop with all the craziness on Twitter. Just stop. I don't know.
Well,
that's it drives me crazy.
Like in there. You can't explain
no idea.
It's certainly been a dead horse that's been beat with y'all.
Yes.
We're going to continue to talk about Cody, even though I want to evolve this conversation, because he obviously continues to play in the season, and we're gonna bring him back up later. But as far as the friendship that you and Cody had, when the Zingbot got you, when you went out to booze, where was there ever a way you would cast a vote for Cody?
When we were at the finale, I went in thinking I'm going to vote for Derek no matter what, because I was so impressed with how well he duped me and every person in that jury. And then, honestly, we started asking questions, and I thought Cody answered the questions better. And between commercial breaks, I was literally hyperventilating. Caleb, who are you voting for? Frankie? Who are you voting for? What do I do? What do I do? I was like, because I went in there with my mindset, and then it completely got demolished. And so at that point, I literally didn't know who I was voting for when I walked that podium. And so
right?
I'm dead serious. Yeah, I was, because Cody did play a great social game. He reminded me of that with his answers. And I was like, gosh, he did. And so when I got up there, I just went with my gut, which was Derek, after how we had all been talking to each other. And so Cody definitely, he almost got my vote. It was very close.
Okay, because I wanted to know if your acute awareness of how you and Cody's relationship was perceived. I was afraid that you may not give him a deserving vote just because of that. Did that play any role in your decision at all, or do you honestly feel like at that moment when you pulled the key out of that bag to stick into the podium that you were voting for the right person for the right reason?
I did. I absolutely. There was a part of me in the jury house where I was like, oh my gosh, if I vote for Cody to win, would people think, oh, I just did it because I wanted to, whatever. But I sincerely went in there as a super fan, and I 100% voted for who I thought played the best game. It had nothing.
Okay.
There were no other reasons for why I voted for who I did. At the round table, we yelled, Derek got us all so well. And so I was like, that dude played me way better, and I'm impressed.
Okay. Okay. You said that Cody almost got your vote, though. Was there anything he could have said in his eviction speech that would have turned the tables to where there's no way you could have voted against him? Is there anything he left out that you're aware of, or you wished he'd said that he did maybe because he wasn't cognizant of it? Is there anything in his jury speech that could have turned you?
Honestly, maybe if he threw Derek under the bus a little more and made him sound like less of a puppet master, which he started to, but I just don't think he did it enough. And I think that at that point he should have, and made himself sound like the puppet master at least,
Like, I will agree that in Cody's speech, I feel like he mentioned Derek's name way too many times. Okay?
Really?
Yes. I think that it should have been like maybe we or I, but saying it's Derek and Derek and Derek and Derek, so it's like you're telling what Derek's doing also,
Yes.
So I thought that was a little bit, I was nervous for that part of the jury speech. But let's talk about. Go ahead, McCrae.
Well, wait. I want to I'm guessing you've already heard the whole story about you getting booed.
Yeah.
Okay, because from what I heard from Matt Eisman, who is the host of American Ninja Warrior, big Brother fan. He was in the crowd that night, and he said that it was a dad with 3 daughters, and then he pretty much led the crowd on this boo fest. But I kind of defend him, because if you think about it, imagine yourself with 3 young girls that are all getting into Big Brother, and this dad probably doesn't know anything about Big Brother, so he's probably thinking he's at a wrestling match, boo! So I kind of see from his perspective, and again, if I was you, you should own the booze. If you were kind of be that villain in the house, you should have came out, ripped your shirt off, Hulkamania, yeah. Fucking put out one of these suckers. Oh, that would have been great.
I wanted to be ooh, tough crowd. But
No, they were so undeserved boos. Absolutely.
No.
I think everyone was
as far as that story goes, the dad with 3 daughters, if you're going to show up to a Big Brother taping, which is hard to get in and be a fucking dickhead, you need to keep your ass in the house. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I think that's ridiculous trying to keep the crowd.
Yeah.
Christine, honestly, my heart broke for you, because I could tell you were not wanting to make eye contact with anybody in the audience. You're sitting up there what in the fuck? And I feel like I feel like that is absolutely unwarranted. A dad that would take his 3 daughters and lead a boo against somebody playing a game, they need Twitter haters, not somebody in there trying to win $500,000 by any means necessary and building friendships. So that's my opinion of that. I'll get off my soapbox on that, though. Okay, talk about Jury House. We know. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to since we're kind of talking about some jury votes. If you'd known about Team America and that Derek had already won some money, would that have changed your vote?
Honestly, I think that would have. I think that would have sealed the key in Cody's box if I knew about Derek and Team America.
Okay. I wondered that. I was actually wanting Frankie and Donnie to be able to talk about it at the jury house. Everybody could say, what? This guy's had this, that, and the other thing and made money and blah, blah, blah. Now, don't get me wrong. Derek played a phenomenal game. He deserved to win. Derek is a phenomenal winner.
Absolutely.
However, information was withheld to make him not to give anything that would be voted against, unvotable. And I want to ask everybody in the jury that question, is if they'd known he'd won the money, that made a difference. Again, saying Derek was a terrific winner. I'm glad he won, but it's one of those kind of odd things. When you were evicted, before you walk out and talk to when you got evicted, you didn't say shit. You got up and you walked and stormed out. Do you regret that at all? Do you wish you'd done something different? Do you wish you'd blown up somebody's game? Because at that point, you knew that your greatest fear had come true, that the boys were going to turn on you, and they took the opportunity and did without any kind of I mean, they didn't care. They chopped you and went. Talk about that feeling and that short walk out of the house. You didn't need your full 60 seconds.
No. You know what's funny is one time on America's Next Top Model, Tyra Banks told this other girl on the show that was trying to throw another girl on the bus, she was like, you don't mess with another model's money. You know, you don't do that. And so at that point, I wasn't going to win $500,000. And so I was going to leave it up to all of them to fight it off. It's not my money anymore, so I wasn't going to damage anyone else's game. And I knew if I didn't just storm out, I'd say something stupid. And so I just bolted. And watching it every other season, I loved when the people who got backstabbed didn't hug them because I felt like it's very fake. At that point, the game is over. Bye, deuces, you know. Yeah. I'm like, I don't have to pretend to be some of your friends anymore or anything. And so I just bolted. There's no backstab.
That's awesome.
Like, a lot of things we talk about are obviously hindsight. But you wish you'd said anything there, or you glad you stormed out?
That is the one thing that I don't regret. I'm okay with what I did.
Good. Okay. Let's. I want to ask you, if you were to go back in the house, okay, or let's say if you could rewind and do Big Brother 16 differently, what move would you have made you didn't make? Just one move. Like I said, I'm not. We all lost. We're all losers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm looking at you from that point of view. It's not picking on anybody's game. But what one singular move you wish you'd made or not made you think would have made a lot of difference in your game?
You know what I wish? I kind of wish I didn't backstab Nicole just to see what would have happened. Okay. I want to know if I would have been, because, you know, you have 6 guys telling you, if you don't put her up, you're next, you know? And so I was like, oh, shoot, 6 guys coming after me, or nobody, essentially, kind of, you know? And so I put her up, but I just kind of wish I didn't. I wish me and her would have gone out together or something, or I just wish I tried that instead.
Okay. So you
follow-up question. Follow-up question. If you were to go on to All-Stars, how would you go in there? What would be your strategy?
Dude, after this experience, I don't trust anyone ever again. So going into the house again, I can't imagine trusting a soul. And so you kind of have a blind trust the first time. And so second time, freaking, I don't even know what I would do. I wouldn't trust anyone.
Well, yeah, it's something that you will think about. It's something that you will always think about what you would do if you got back in. That's just and as we all get together in these Big Brother after parties and almost like family reunions, we all sit around and talk game constantly. So be thinking, because you'll have plenty of conversations.
I'll try and start thinking about that.
Yeah, let's talk about Donnie. Let's talk about Donnie right quick. Your relationship with Donnie, can you please describe it?
My relationship with Donnie was awkward. I guess we just kind of rubbed each other the wrong way, and he was very quiet a lot of times, and I don't know. I don't know how to describe it.
I mean, was he? We saw that he was not comfortable talking game, and Caleb said this in the interview, and I should have said this to Caleb, but Caleb was like, well, I tried to talk game to him, but he didn't want to talk. And I was like, what's he going to say to you, Caleb? I want all the people you're aligned with out, or he's going to say, I want people out that could possibly work with me. Donnie couldn't talk any game to a lot of people. And so, I mean, he really couldn't. All he could really do, in my assessment, is because he was odd man out from the beginning. Whether it be the damn cricket chirping, just the way he looked, where he was from, I think that Devin really kept anybody from building a really close trust with Donnie earlier in the game. At least that's the way it appeared, because of Devin's distrust for him. And it seemed like Devin kind of drew that line in the sand. But were you surprised that Donnie was America's favorite house guest? What about old Donnie has tripped you up since coming out of the house? Anything you wish that relationship had been fostered differently, or is there just no way? It was like oil and water.
You know, I think in the beginning, if he would have tried talking game with people more, that would have made a difference, because by the time he did talk game with me, which I really appreciated, I felt like it was too late, and I felt like I already didn't trust him. I didn't know who he was as a player, and I didn't know how much I could trust him because he didn't do it with anyone yet. Sure. And so I feel like if he would have tried harder in the beginning, that would have been absolutely a possibility of us working together.
Okay. It appeared Donnie's problem was he never had currency. There was nothing he could ever barter. He didn't ever know any more information than anybody else. And, there was nothing he could barter. If he told you the truth, he'd be talking about your alliance. Or, you know what I'm saying? So that was kind of a weird thing. Yeah, this is not Donnie's interview, but it was it seemed like somebody was going to scoop Donnie up, but it just certainly never really happened. He was just always on the outs, and there was just no pulling back in for him.
And he was good.
And as he won competitions, people became more scared of him, not like, holy shit, Donnie could be legit. So were you shocked that he got America? Were you shocked about the top 3 for America's favorite player?
Not at all. I was not shocked at all. I kept telling them in the house. Okay. Nicole didn't think she'd ever be part of that, and I was like, I swear, Nicole, you are going to be liked. And so I'd always convince her that. I wasn't shocked at all, but so.
Okay. All right. What was the most shocking thing for you to find out inside the house? Like, well, let's say, okay, I guess we've got Frankie's sister, Derek being a cop. I mean, just game-related stuff, not stuff after the fact that you've heard. What was the most shocking thing during this realm of production that you found to be just mind-blowing?
I think the biggest thing was at the finale when they said that Derek was a cop. Oh my
did that? I mean, like everybody. Like it was funny when they announced the cast. He was like, I'm not gonna tell me I'm a cop, and we were all like, dude, you look like a cop, bro. They're gonna have you paid.
Yeah.
But so honestly, I mean, that it was one of those things, kind of like when you watch like a M. Night Shyamalan movie, you're like, oh my God, it all makes sense now. Derek twisted us. It's an M. Night Shyamalan twist at the end. But is that kind of how you feel? Was it like everything was revealed to you?
Yeah, it was all of a sudden everything made sense, and I was like, the world is right. And then I remember every conversation where we would joke about Derek being a cop. Yeah, right. And I'm like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Do you think if he would have revealed that information in his final 2 speeches, do you think that would have hurt him at all?
No, I don't think it would hurt him. I probably would have helped him.
Oh yeah.
Do you think it would help him?
Really? Okay. You think that would have gotten Donnie's vote?
Oh.
Or Jacosta?
I don't think Derek had any chance of getting Donnie's or Jacosta's vote, honestly. I don't think there's anything you could have said.
No, I don't either. Derek had mentioned in our interview we did with him that he was afraid that if he dropped that bomb, so to speak, it could hurt him because of conversations in the house where there wasn't a whole lot of pro-police officer people in the house. They all had stories about trouble with cops, and that was what his fear was. And I just wondered if it would have made any difference. I almost would have liked for him to say that, so y'all could have been like, at that moment.
I wish. I would have. He would have been a more dominant person for me to vote for if he said it honestly, but I still voted for him. So.
Sure. No, okay. So it would have just solidified your vote. Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the gist? What was the mindset of the house when Frankie revealed his sister was a pop sensation? Were people? I mean, like, it obviously got him out of a little trouble because it caused a distraction. There's nothing more than a smoke screen. But what did that make people? What did that make you and other people think? Did you think that would give him any additional benefits? Did you think it was good to align with him because of these benefits? Where did this help his game, and how did you perceive this information? Using that information to move forward.
It was literally like he threw glitter forgetfulness dust in every. Like everyone was like, oh my gosh, what? Frankie never lied to me, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have any glitter for these people. I'm going to sit over here and everyone's going to remember all my lies. And so I was frustrated with the fellow house guests for letting it get to them like that. And so at that point, I was even more confused because he had already been throwing my name through the dirt. I was pissed. So when he revealed that, I almost wanted to get on the train because I felt like people were distracted by what he said. But at the same point, I was scared they would come after him. But then it turns out people were scared to come after him because of it, which is frustrating. But,
sure.
I came there to play Big Brother. I didn't...
Did he ever cross your mind to like use that against him? Like, oh well, he doesn't need this. Like, let's send him home to his fans right now. You know, like I feel like that would have been something I would have tried to do because like that's a big like that puts a target on his back in a way. You know, even though it is a kind of a smokescreen, like I would have tried to like throw that back into his face.
You know,
I don't know.
Zach and Nicole were
that
he's playing for charity, and so it was, you kind of couldn't. I mean, he literally told it so perfectly, and he's playing for charity that you couldn't even use it against him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. He did it very well. I was surprised.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, y'all were a house of really pretty nice people because I know me, I probably would have caught a lot of flack because I'd have been like, who gives a fuck what he does with money?
That's right.
He can build one school in Africa with his stipend. You don't need to build a whole damn university. You know, so like y'all were very nice with that. I know that Caleb was starstruck, and he thought, in my assessment, he thought that there'd be some benefit to working with Frankie outside the house.
Oh my God!
Anyway, was that a pretty common theme in the air that Frankie's connections outside the house would benefit us if we rally around him? Was that talked about, discussed? Was it just kind of an unspoken?
I think that mostly would have been Caleb thinking that.
Okay.
I didn't go in there to get a TV career out of this. I went in my favorite TV show, and I wanted to play the game. And so,
Absolutely.
To me, it didn't mean anything. And so I didn't try and hop on that train, obviously. And so I didn't care, and I honestly didn't really know people thought that. That's kind of irritating, but.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, I'm not saying that the perspective was that. I'm asking you because it was obviously with Caleb that he thought there's going to be a duet with me and Ariana. I'm going to be doing all this. Like he really thought that. So I was just wondering if the rest of the house felt like there was an outside benefit to maintaining loyalty to Frankie, and I'm glad to hear that was only Caleb and not the rest of us. Go ahead.
Hopefully. I don't think people thought about the benefit. People thought mostly about the backlash. Like Nicole was like,
okay.
Oh, I can't put him up because Ariana's going to hate me and all her fans are going to hate me. And I was like, who cares? This is a game.
Yeah.
So it was mostly people feared the backlash.
Yes. No. Yeah. Absolutely. And that backlash is very real, and unfortunately, it can be. It certainly can be. All right. Okay. So, Jury House. When you walked out there and everybody just kind of was quiet, I thought it was staged. Honestly, because it looked kind of funny. But Jacosta was saying in our past interview that was real, and like. Was Jury House awkward for you after making enemies and being mean and these jury messages? What was that like for you?
It was so awkward walking, literally hands down. That was more awkward than the booze that I got. Like that's the most awkward moment of my entire life, walking into the Jury House. Just standing there, and I went back inside, and that was the first time I cried about the game. Really, I went back. This is so awkward. But then, honestly, as soon as the cameras left, Donnie was so nice to me. Donnie was one of the nicest, and I didn't expect that. And so he was really nice to me. He tried to get me to feel comfortable, and then Zach was amazing. Hayden and Nicole, we were friends again, like we made up with each other and stuff. So it was fun after that. I had a good time there.
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, good. Yeah, I'm really glad to hear that because we didn't really see much more after that, I don't think, other than like the jury roundtable, and it seemed like you may have had several days or weeks of awkwardness. So I'm glad to hear that. At all. I'm glad to hear that Donnie built that bridge. After he'd been on the outs for so long, he obviously would not want you to be in my assessment, and it was nice. It was nice for all that to get smoothed over. And that's good. I'm glad to hear that. So there's a point in the game where you just got to be like, hell, we all lost, except only one person's going to win. And let's just put it behind us. So good deal. Good deal. Christine, is there any aspect of your game that we have not covered? Is there a particular alliance, a move, anything that we have not highlighted that you'd like to shed some light on?
I do want people to know, because they were like, why'd you only work with the boys? I did met with Amber, but I actually did kind of want to work with her and Nicole. And I wanted her to stay the week that she got evicted, but Nicole didn't trust her. And so I do want people to know I really actually did want to try the Amber Nicole thing, but
Okay. All right.
What do you like? Go on.
I was saying, if the Amber Nicole thing had worked, 3 wouldn't have been a good number for an alliance with a majority in there. Who would have been like your possibly 4th and 5th?
I think essentially we could have each had an attachment to somebody, kind of.
Okay.
Not so much bring them into the alliance, but outside.
Okay.
Parachute.
Like a parachute.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. All right, great. McCrae, what were you saying? I'm sorry.
Like being a super fan, you know, like it's really sweet to look back and we all had this like really awesome experience. As a whole, the Big Brother experience, how would you describe it? How are your feelings about it? I just want to know what you think about it all.
It was amazing. This was my literal one dream in life. I got to do it, and so I had the absolute time of my life. And I had so much fun. No responsibilities for 3 months, hanging out. It was great, and I'm glad I did it.
Yeah, awesome. That's good to hear. I like that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
What's the future? What's the future for Christine?
I have a job interview with Apple tomorrow.
Nice.
Tell them I'm having problems with my iPhone, please.
Okay, I'll let them know. No,
You tell them. They're more melon to you.
I have an insanely normal life, and I just have to get right back into it. Got bills to pay, so that's all.
Yeah.
Good.
No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, good deal. Tell everybody what your Twitter handle is, Instagram, anything that's official for you, P.O. boxes, fan mail, anything like that. Please use this time to platform that.
I got my Twitter. It's Steen Stinks, S-T-I-N-E. My Instagram is Christine Brecht, my full name. Tim and I have a YouTube channel. We're going to start posting videos, and it's Tim and Steen. And then I have an email, ChristineBrechtBB16@gmail, and I think that does it.
No, if anyone wants to listen to Tim's music, what's his SoundCloud? Do you know that? I don't know.
He changes it sometimes. Okay, Spider Cider. Go look up Spider Cider on YouTube and SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Yes. Go look that up.
Is Tim there? Is Tim there with you?
No, he's at work.
Okay, that's a shame. He made quite an impact in the Big Brother community while you're in the house. He was a huge sport. Obviously, yours is your husband, and that dude, he parried lots of jabs with grace. He was cool, kind. His YouTube stuff was wonderful. I'm glad to hear that obviously nobody. I didn't ever think that you were going to have trouble. Obviously, it's the game. Tim understands that. He was pretty clear about it. He's pretty clear about it on the family segment. He did say that y'all were going to have a little talk. But it was good. I'm glad. And in all honesty, because you don't know what it's like, Christine. You'll start to learn if you haven't already. But people, these trolls and people just want to hammer you. And Tim held himself tall with class, humor, and he's a really awesome guy. And I'm glad that y'all's YouTube channel is going to be up and running, and we can't wait to watch your videos. Yeah, so it's going to be good.
Amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All our best to you and Tim. And if that's it, everybody follow me at Spencer B. Clausen on Twitter. I'm Spencer BB15 Clausen on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And McCrae, what you got, bro?
At McCrae Chum and at McCrae Ole on Instagram.
Ole. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. It's been really good. Christine, thank you for your candidness and honesty with this. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you. All right.
I had fun. Thanks.
Peace out. We'll be back here tomorrow with Donald Thompson.